So I'm thinking about doing something different. I've been toying with how to record the Sunday sermons. And I think there's a way that I could do it using my pad. But, gosh, everyone does that. So I thought, how can we do something different, something that we could easily keep updated every single week, but would be a little different, but also to keep people kind of in touch. And so I thought about this format. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm going to sit here for a moment and kind of recap what went on today. We did something new today. The last 3 weeks, right after the message was over, I was doing a song. So we did Sanctuary, we did Unashamed Love, and we did Open the Eyes of My Heart over the last 3 weeks after the message. This morning we had a praise time, and we brought them all together. And it was really cool. Had the ensemble sang along with me, been practicing with them, and so they picked up some harmonies. So it was like me on the guitar and then the ensemble singing, and yeah, I think it went really, really well. Now, of course, there's that conversation about the fact that not everybody knows the words, and that's true. And there was some conversation about wanting to put them in a book, but I don't want to do that, because what happens if we put it in a book, it becomes just like a hymnal, and then people start to just look down and they don't look up. And I'm sitting there saying, no, we learn the words of songs off the radio all the time when we don't have the words. And so I'm going to stay away from the book. And next week we'll do the same 3 songs. And the week after that I'll introduce a new song. Take one out and put one new one in. And do that one for a little bit. And then take one out and put a new one in. And we'll build our repertoire. But it was really fun today doing that. Errol is gone. He is one of our elders that takes care of the children's sermons, so I jumped in and did that too. But it worked out nicely, because I have a need on the other side of these bookshelves right here, because there's a door on the other side of those bookshelves. And on the back side, it's just kind of ugly. So I wanted to get some pictures. And so I asked the kids, I said, would you make some pictures for me so we can hang on the back side of these bookshelves? And they said they would, and so that's great. So it worked out nicely. It kind of tied nicely into the message, because today we talked about step number 8 of the journey to be, and that step is about being used by God to be a testimony to other people by our words and as well as our example. And so I was using that as an example of how you could show God's love to me, how we can help each other. So I think that went really well. And then I went right into the message. So it was kind of weird today. It was kind of like the David show, and I don't want it to be like that all the time. But it was. That's how it was. Errol wasn't here. We did the music and then the message. And so when I went into the message, I think the message went well. I think it did. It's hard to say, because I think it went well. It was from Mark's Gospel, chapter 5, and we were talking about the Gerasene demoniac, fancy name for someone who was possessed by demons. And Jesus healed them. Demons exorcised the demons and put them into pigs, and the pigs ran away and went off the cliff and died. And we talked about how the fact Peter didn't like this passage very much, but we didn't focus on that. We were focusing on that after this was done, and this man was healed, and he was sitting there talking with Jesus. Jesus knew it was time for him to move on, and the man wanted to go with him. The man said, "Can I go with you?" And Jesus said, "Nope." He said, "Go back to your home, to your people, and tell them your story." And that's what we focused on, because as step 8 goes, about surrendering ourselves and giving ourselves to the Lord so that we can be used, giving ourselves to the Lord so we can be share the good news of Jesus with other people through our example, through our words, just surrendering ourselves. Sometimes means that we have to go back to the place where we came from. We have to go to the people that we know the most, and we call that the Oikos. That is the Greek term for household. And so the Oikos is the amount of people that you have in your life. Roughly it's about 8 to 15 people that are connected to you in some way, shape, or form. Friends, family, co-workers, neighbors, the guy you buy your soda and cigarettes from at the convenience store. Those are the people that are in your sphere of influence. And it's your Oikos that you have the greatest impact on. Those are the people that you're already speaking into their life. They're already speaking into your life. The hardest part's already taken care of. And we talked a little bit about the fact that this is not fair, but it's the reality. And that is that you are the only gospel anybody will ever read. You're the only sermon anybody will ever hear. And unfortunately, there are people out there that are basing their understanding of who Jesus is because of you. They're understanding God because of you. And it's not fair because we all fall short of the mark. We're all sin-stained. We're fractured. We're faultied. We make mistakes. We fall down. And we talked about the fact that this is important for us to realize that being a follower of Jesus is not about being perfect. Being a follower of Jesus is about being a follower of Jesus, regardless of our imperfections. And so people want to see how we deal with falling down. People want to see how we deal with the struggles. People want to see how we deal with the doubt. So we don't always have to be perfect, but we just have to be followers. We have to be people who are being open or are willing to be open to the Holy Spirit. And so that was I think it went really well as far as getting step 8 out there. This is the first time through the steps, and we'll be back through the steps again. But it was the first time through, and I think it went well. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the next time through how I'll do it differently. And hopefully you have learned a lot. Hopefully the congregation's learned a lot. And we just move forward. Alrighty, so until next Sunday, till the next Hot Fudge Sunday, sharing the best of what happened today.